So, Forsaken genuinely pisses me off so badly, bro. Like, I feel like Forsaken is focusing too much on cosmetics rather than content. I made a comment on here, on this video right here, and a lot of people are complaining to me like, do you understand how hard it is to write a single line of code? I understand that. But don't you realize that the scripters of this game are using the easiest scripting code in the world called Lua? It's not that hard. It's not like they're using Java or any other scripting code that's harder than this. I know I don't understand that much about coding because I don't code that much. And they only have 5 scripters. I mean, that's enough for a game. But if it takes them that long just to sit and whine and complain because they took 1 week trying to figure out how to make this one line of code work, and then be like, oh yeah, I need a break, like a vacation from the developers, and they take like a 1-month vacation, and then after they come back, then they complain more about doing their stuff. And I'm not trying to be rude to the scripters. I know the scripters of the game are probably really, really good people. But you gotta really step up your game if you're going to, you know, do good. You're gonna release Guest 666 and Veronica. And there's literally been months. It's literally been months. It's been so long. What took you so long just to add these just to like finally like release and be like, we're gonna add them, and then after that then you take like another month just to work on it, and you're using R6. Take like the Strongest Battlegrounds for example. Now I know this is an asymmetrical horror game, but look at Child Emperor. They had every right to make an excuse of how hard it was of scripting this. They were literally like, hey, what was it?
AAA animators that didn't want to work with the model because of how complicated it was.
See? And look, the Ultimate was so good. They had every right to complain that it was so hard just to do it.
And Basil, all she does on Twitter, all they do on Twitter, all they do is complain on Twitter and post seals.
Yeah. Where's our updates, bro? Why can't we just have the old Forsaken and focus on content rather than cosmetics? Who in the hell cares about cosmetics? Probably only 2 times sweats. It genuinely pisses me off.
I need Pride Month tonight.
And why? Why add more cosmetics than content? I want to see Veronica and Guest. Now I guess Guest 666, yeah, I know he has a little more parts and stuff, which probably you could have a tiny bit of an excuse about it, which I understand. But that still doesn't give you any right.
Faster. It would be so much faster if they stopped working on skins and instead started working on the actual update itself.
Yeah. Matter of fact, if it's this hard, then just get more scripters.
Instead of just giving us filler in like replacement for the time it's taking to make the update. Focus on the update.
Look at Old Forsaken, for example. When Caden and I first played the game, all the characters didn't have like 1 million skins when they released. They barely had any skins. You know why? Because the old scripters and the old developer, which I know was Soul, which I don't like him because he's like a PDF file. He's Pet O'Brien, but he knew how to control the game because he didn't focus on cosmetics mainly. He focused on the content more because he knew focusing on the content on the game is better than on the cosmetics. But instead now
lost its identity as soon as Soul left. I mean, I agree with Soul leaving because he's a terrible person, but still, it's Forsaken lost its identity as a horror game. Now you can punch Hatsune Miku as Walter White.
I know.
It's like Fortnite.
The game is just de-evolving at this point. It is a lot. I don't think it's the developer's fault. I think it's the community's fault. The community's so dog shit that they complain and they go, wah, wah, I need my more cosmetics, more than skins. Like, do you hear how stupid that sounds when those multiple of those words come out of your mouth?
And every single time they get an actual piece of content, all they do is complain. Because they'll find anything to complain about.
They'll find anything to have an excuse about so they can whine to developers and so they don't lose, quote, like, players and stuff. So they don't lose any players.
And the current owners don't know how to handle the game at all. They take criticism way too seriously. Like Basil said that they were going to stop working on Limbus Company skins all because some people said, don't like Hacklord because he's actually a good skin. Just because like a few people said that. They said they would stop working on Limbus Company skins entirely, as a whole. When they were some of the best skins in the game.
At this point, if we're gonna have a game, don't focus on the community. The community doesn't know how to handle a game at all. They're just brain rot little babies that whine and complain and trying to find any excuse so they can get their way and ruin it for everybody. Don't focus on that. Focus on what your heart belongs to. I know for a fact.
How petty do you have to be to let your ego get shattered by a couple little babies crying on the internet over your work? Just ignore them.
I know. Like Outcome Memories.
Quote unquote retaliation. You stop working on skins that everyone loves.
Wait, and you know Pillar Chase, they have every single right for why their updates are delayed. Now they don't make any excuse for why their updates are delayed. They don't give an excuse. Yeah, the scripters and developers of this game always complain, being like, oh well, guess what? We're working with an R6 character, and let's say he only has a punch ability. Oh wait, that's too hard just to work on. And plus, since he's R6, we're gonna complain that it's really, really hard. So, go f*** yourself. So, like...
Killer Chase 2 is literally recoding an entire game with extremely over-detailed and complicated models to satisfy a little bit of the player base.
No. Matter of fact, I know this isn't a Roblox game. But you know, Ultra Kill. Like a couple of months, like a long time ago. Which was a couple of months ago. Ultra Kill not recoded the entire game, but they basically retextured everything. And you wanna know something? The developer of the game, there's only one person who's working on the game. They are the developer, the scripter of the game, the modeler of the game. And they're not complaining of how hard it is. Now obviously 8-1 was super hard to make because of all the walls that were moving, and when you face a certain direction, you turn around, everything behind you changes and stuff. That sounds really hard to code. And he has every right to have an excuse for that, because he took several months just to work on it because he has no scripters. So, if the Forsaken developers think they have every right to complain of what they're doing, they do not. Seriously, if you're gonna handle the game, do better. That's all I can say. This video wasn't entirely scripted, so everything I say is probably gonna sound really, really retarded coming out of my mouth. So, I'll see you guys later. Bye.